Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Day 3 and the final day of the World Indoor Championships trackies, and Jamaica ends with 3 more medals to add to their 1 medal that they already had on the medal podium, which makes us have altogether 4 medals from this World Indoor Championships. No, I did say that we would get 5. We got 4. I'll break down, what we dropped versus what we picked up once I get towards the end of the video. But that's it, trackies. I'm excited to tell you about the results and who gave us these additional 3 medals on this third and final day. Now, let's start with Ackera Nugent and this woman's 60-meter hurdles. Going in, I did do the preview video and I said Ackera Nugent needs this gold medal. But trackies, I think I underestimated how much it really meant to Ackera Nugent to win this medal after seeing her eventually walk away with a medal here at the World Indoor Championship. So let's pick things up, trackies, with the heats with Ackera Nugent. She was pretty tentative coming out of the blocks, trackies, and I thought to myself, okay, we're a little race rusty. We haven't run in a few weeks, but I could tell that there was much more in the tank for Ackera Nugent. She still looked very, very easy as well. She won her heat, running a 7.90 seconds. Not one of the fastest times, but given the effort, I thought, Ackera can definitely give me one of those possibly 7 performances that would lead us to a potential medal. However, in the semi-final trackies, things got a little shaky because Ackera Nugent, you could tell that there was a lot of pressure on herself. And I thought in that moment as well, trackies, that in listening to all of the interviews that she's done and reading articles as well with Ackera Nugent and, her saying, I'm not trying to pressure myself. I think it dawned on me in that moment after the semifinals that, she's a world-class athlete. She's not going to escape the world, and I mean Jamaicans in general, having high expectations of her. I mean, her caliber speaks, for itself. But I think, just watching the semifinal, I realized that actually Ackera seems to be the one that is putting the most pressure on herself, right? I think that is what I realized in the semifinal. And I thought, I don't know what you say to this athlete in this moment when you watch her literally, putting a lot of pressure on herself, trying to deliver and watching, her blunder somewhat. But still, she was able to make it through to this finals trackies and she placed second in the heat. She clattered in the final barrier. Well, she hit the second hurdle and she clattered the final hurdle in the semi-final trackies. And, she almost didn't make it. It's like she stumbled. She almost, lost her balance. And then she had to recall herself quickly and say, hey, I'm still in the race. I still have to qualify. And she quickly dipped. Luckily, because the athlete that finished third behind her in that semifinal was just 1/100th of a second outside of her time. So if she didn't recall as quickly as she did in that race, then something else could have happened, potentially there. But I'm happy she made it in. But in that moment, I realized the type of pressure that she was actually placing on herself, and I was just praying that she'll be able to clear her mind and just do what she knows she's capable of doing, right? So the finals came up, and then I thought to myself as well that, hey, I'm thinking that at this particular moment, it's probably the best thing for Ackera Nugent to be in an outside lane, right? She was in lane 7, where she's not necessarily in all the traffic as well, where she can probably keep her mind as clear as possible, trackies. And guess what? It worked out for her. She had a pretty, I don't want to say it was an electric start because y'all know she's a little bit tentative sometimes coming out of the blocks, but trackies, she ran as hard as she could and she finally got that bronze medal, and she placed third. Well, bronze medal, I did say that. And she clocked a 7.74 seconds, a season's best, outside her 7.72. That, is her season's best so far in 2025. No, Devine Charlton took the win, 7.72 seconds, and Ditaji Kompunji was second, 7.73. Trackies, if you look at that photo finish, you could not separate first through to sixth. It was that close. I mean, 7.72 and sixth place was 7.76. It was that close, with 3 athletes actually ending on 7.74, only separated by the thousandths of a second, trackies. It was that close, but you could tell how much it meant to Ackera winning the medal, and I was so overcome. I cried for her. I was happy for her. Congratulations. And as I said, she needed this medal, trackies. Y'all thought it was a joke when I was saying in my preview video that Ackera needed this medal. She needed the medal too. confirm to herself, not even to the world, because the world is looking on. And I was saying, hey, you need to tell the world that you're this good. You need the medal to tell them that you're this good. But I definitely think she needed that medal to tell herself that, yes, I can do it. So I'm really, really happy for her. She won that bronze medal. And I just think she's just going to be up from here when it comes to her competing outdoors. I definitely think she's going to be able to shed some of the pressure that she's, placed on herself, and just go for it. Just go for it, because she can do it. We've seen her do it over and over and over again. And I think it's going to be an amazing year for her in 2025 to build off this bronze medal. Again, as I said, congratulations. Now, the second medal that we picked up was Wayne Pinnock. I told you, the ever reliable Wayne Pinnock when it comes to men and the long jump. Did it again. He did it again, and he walked away with a silver medal again. Track is in the men's long jump, where he jumped at 8.29 seconds. No, not 2.9 seconds, sorry, 29 meters. Now, Trackies, I have to say, he was bitterly disappointed. I could see the disappointment on his face. Finishing second again. He was second at the World Championships, second at the Olympic Games, and he's here second again at the World Indoor Championships. Trackies, for me, I'm very grateful and thankful that he has won this medal. I can see the disappointment as well, especially when you look at the fact that first place was 8.30 meters. So first to third was only separated by 1 centimeter. Trackies, 8.30 meters, 8.29 meters, and 8.28 meters. Those were the athletes that literally took up the podium, right? So when it comes to the performance from him, for me, as I said, I'm grateful, but I can understand his disappointment. But I can look at it as a positive, because here why. This is his first competition of the year, right? He hasn't competed anywhere at all in 2025. So to come out and jump at 8.29 in your first outing and collect a silver medal, for me, is awesome. Which leads me to say that if he had competed, and I did say this about Romain Beckford as well, I felt as though what he was lacking was actual competition, right? So I'm thinking that the same thing for Wayne Pinnock. If he was able to get a few competitions in prior to the World Indoor Championships to get, him, ready per se, then I think he could have gotten up to that 8.3. Remember, I was saying to walk away with gold, you should potentially be able to jump 8.3/8.4, and 8.3 was needed to win that gold medal. Unfortunately, he was just shy. But as I said, for me, it's a positive. And like the commentator said in the actual recording, when I was watching live, nobody's going to want to jump again to win this season outdoors, because he's going to be a monster. Because if he's bitterly disappointed winning a silver medal, you can just tell that he's going to be hungry and determined, and, as I said, a beast when he goes outdoors. And I'm definitely looking forward to his performance. Now, we also had Tajay Gale, and he finished 10th, and he jumped a 7.83 meters for that placing. Unfortunately, Trackies, let me go back to the women's 60-meter hurdles real quick. I didn't tell you about Amoy Brown. She was 8th. So we had 2 Jamaicans that made it into the finals. I was just so overcome with Ackera Nugent and, the momentous moment this was for her, that it slipped me to mention Amoy Brown. Apologies. She was 8th in the finals, where she ran at 8.07 seconds there. Now, let's jump over all the way from that over into the third and final medal that we picked up in the men's 4x4, where we won a silver medal. Trackies in the men's 4x4. So we had Rasheen McDonald, Joshua Dennis, Kimar Farquharson, and Demar Francis come together and clock a 3 minutes 05.05 seconds, right, Trackies? And that's a season's best. And, just behind USA, I think for the most part, everybody thought USA would win. I mean, even when they don't sweep, they win a 4x4 medal, or the gold medal, not a medal, the gold medal, right? So when they swept, everybody was like, well, this is easy. America wins. Where are all the other medals going to go, right? So they won with a 3 minutes 03.13 seconds. I think Jamaica did really well against them. They held up for the most part. Kimar Farquharson really, really gave Jamaica a shadow of potentially challenging America, right? But, with America having Christopher Bailey on the anchor, it was always going to be, America's show, really and truly. And they walked away with a brilliant win. Jamaica was second, as I said. I'm happy for Team Jamaica. And Hungary was third, just beating out China there for that bronze medal. Now, Trackies, One final update as well. Rajendra was in the shot put and he was ninth and he threw a season's best 20.45 seconds. Now, meters, sorry. Now, going in track is, I did say we would win 5 medals. We picked up 4. Now, we dropped 2. I did say that if Rajendra turns up in great shape, he's not consistent, but if we get the good version Rajendra, then we could potentially end up on the podium. However, not this time around. We didn't get the best of Rajendra, unfortunately. It was a season's best for him, certainly, but not the very best of Rajendra that we've seen him do indoors. So with that being said, trackies, we settled for 9th place there, and of course, no medal from Rajendra, so we dropped a medal there. And of course, trackies as well, you all know I had a medal potentially for Jamaica in the 400 meters. Again, from a not so consistent Rashid McDonald. Sometimes you get the good version of him, sometimes you don't. And unfortunately, we didn't get the best version of him as well at the World Indoor Championships, which means that we dropped that 400-meter medal. But we picked up one in the high jump. Though I was saying that we could medal there, I didn't really count it, but I was pointing out that, hey, these guys can actually be on the podium given what, the landscape looks like in high jump across the world. We pulled it off and got a bronze medal there, of course, and we picked up a silver with the 4x4, a bronze with the women's 60-meter hurdles, and a silver as well with the men's long jump. So we end with 2 silver medals and 2 bronze medals from this World Indoor Championships. I think it was a great outing for Team Jamaica. I think we, we did pretty well. You know what I mean? At this World Indoor Championships. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, trackies. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.